Hello folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing channel. I hope everybody's doing well. Sometimes, for example, you'll see it in politics. A politician will come out and sort of say something to try and gauge public reaction, and then they'll walk it back. Sort of like a trial balloon, I guess. Well, I think something similar may have happened in boxing. There was a story in Boxing Scene which purported to reveal proposed salaries for the new TKO boxing league, or whatever one wants to call it, the new venture between Turki Alalshikh and Dana White and the WWE, etc. Now, it's important to note that Turki Alalshikh has refuted this story, so that these purported salaries are, at least according to Turki Alalshikh, inaccurate. But nevertheless, a number of channels have reported about them, and I was wondering, well, were they leaked to sort of gauge public response, to gauge the response from industry, to gauge fighter response? Because, that sometimes these things are done for that purpose, right? Like, for example, if they released a salary and all the boxers came out and said, oh, I wouldn't get out of bed for that, that's ridiculous. Well, that would tell the proposed employer that they were missing the market. If, on the other hand, people were saying, yeah, I can see, fair enough, well, then the employer would have an idea that, okay, well, I may not be getting, the very best employees, but I'll certainly have lots of CVs coming in, kind of thing. And I think that actually happens in the professional world. You will pitch a position, and you will sort of see whether or not you're going to get much response. Sort of a salary that in a rural area would be very, very good, may in the city not attract very many applicants, that kind of thing. Anyhow, the TKO salaries that were alleged or proposed, like I say, these numbers have been debunked by Turki Alalshikh, but they were interesting, and I can see that there would have been some demerits and some merits to them. So I thought very quickly I would go over them and I would just give my take. So apparently these salaries, or purses, I'm not sure even what word to use. So I'll use salaries, but it may not be a salary in the way that we sort of, as people who are working or who have worked, know the meaning of the word. And all these numbers are in US dollars, so you can perform the quick and dirty calculation for your own local currency. For a 10-round fight against an unranked fighter, it was proposed that TKO would pay $20,000. I'm assuming these are gross figures as well, so off the top there would be certain expenses and taxation and whatnot. When ranked by a company, or the company, when ranked by whatever the new organization is going to be called, let's just call it TKO for the moment. And again, these are placeholder names. If you were ranked by TKO from 5 to 10, your pay would be $50,000. If you're ranked by the company, TKO, whatever it's called, from 3 to 4, you would get $125,000. These are per fight, of course. When challenging for a company championship, one would get $375,000. And then when defending a company championship, one would get $750,000. So there's certain demerits I can see off the bat here. And one of them would, of course, be you're not going to really get stars showing up. One's not going to get the Devin Haney's and the Ryan Garcias or the top heavyweights or showing up for that kind of money for a couple of reasons. One, they've already made so much more money that that's sort of not worth their while, and they've probably all got various and sundry sponsorship arrangements that probably pay them more, right? It's a little bit like offering Tiger Woods $10,000 to show up at your local golf club championship. Well, Mr. Woods it's not worth his while to swing a club, even for an opening tee off for that kind of money. It also would most likely not really appeal to those who are on the verge of becoming a star, because again, it would be a retrograde level of pay, one would think. It strikes me as it could appeal to the US market, which seems to be struggling to, there isn't a tremendous amount of talent available. And the talent that is available, like I say, it's in short supply, and that's probably why they're getting paid so much money, the few American stars. It could appeal to, American athletes who are considering boxing. I'm honestly not sure. It would be interesting to see how this would compare to an average salary that's paid to a non-star boxer. The target, I would say, would be a non-star boxer who's sort of below the radar. Somebody who's very good, but who hasn't captured the public imagination. Because, the stars are going to retire, right? And so, if we look at the top echelon of any weight class, you're generally speaking looking at somebody who's sort of north of 30, and it's sort of, there's the sunset is sort of, not that far away. It could well be that gyms across various countries are full of promising young people for whom this is not thought of as being bad money. I simply don't know. One of the things that struck me, and this is a point that Adi Oladipo made when he was talking with G-Man on their, they have a regular, chat. I'm not sure how frequently because I don't actually watch it that often, but I did, watch their most recent one. And one of the points that I think, well, both of them were probably making, but certainly I think Adi was making it, is that it would encourage fighters to fight more frequently. And, if, for example, you happen to hold one of these belts, fighting 2 or 3 times a year for $750,000 a pop is probably better from a fan perspective than seeing a comparable level fighter fighting once every year or year and a half. It could also generally raise the standard of a boxer. I mean, Chris Eubank Sr. was saying not that long ago on a show that he hosts, I think it's called Call Chris Eubank, that the very, very best thing you can do is keep fighting. Like, the worst thing you can do is not to fight. And the more frequently you fight, the better you get. So again, strictly speaking from a fan's perspective, if you saw somebody 3, 4, 5 times a year, then, and they're making anywhere from 125 to 750 each time they show up and fight. As a fan, that would be quite fun. Anyways, these are just my thoughts. And like I say, these numbers have been debunked by Turki Alalshikh. They may be sort of, minimum wage type things, and then if you are better, you would get more. They may completely be out to lunch. They may be a trial balloon. Who knows? It's just an interesting thing to sort of think about as to where boxing is going to go. For those people who are opposed to the Dana White-Turki Alalshikh relationship, they'll say, see, I told you, you're going to steal money from boxers, you're going to pay them nothing, it's going to be just like the UFC. Da-da, 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 right? For those people who are enthusiastic, you might well say, well, actually, this would mean more fights, more frequency, more people, F you to these big stars who are making hundreds of millions because, it drives ticket prices up. We can't afford to watch them. Pay-per-view is too expensive and they've already got more money than they can shake a stick at. Honestly, you're both right. Right? You can use these numbers to confirm your own bias, whichever your bias happens to be. I just found it interesting. And as always, I'm more interested in what you think than what I think, because you're the folks who are, of course, like me, fans. And what do you think about this? So let me know in the comments section below. And I will leave it there. Please like, please share, please subscribe. The channel is growing, and this is absolutely wonderful. So, and consider a membership as well. They are really, really cheap, and you get to see videos ahead of time and stuff like that. So, thank you so much. Wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous day. I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.